Welcome back. This year, we marked Independence Day after a year of watching the names of our founding fathers stripped from monuments, schools, and just about everything else across the country. Joining me now to weigh in is former 1776 Commission member, Dr. Carol Swain. Carol, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you. And I'd like to say that the 1776 Commission is still at work. We didn't decommission ourselves because of the executive order.
All right, well, that's good to know. I do want to get to this as far as, the statues. We saw it all last year, statues being ripped down, things being burned, the names of schools being changed. I mean, they're basically trying to rewrite history here. So what's going to happen for the next generation when the founding fathers are more or less just erased from everything and they just don't know what happened? What goes on from there?
Well, it weakens us as a nation, and the narrative that the political left is pushing is one that would not inspire young people to go into the military or to have pride in their nation. And so it's something that is destructive to us. It is their effort to reimagine America as a different country. And if we look at what took place last year, lawlessness took place, and we saw our government officials not willing to stand up and fight back. And so that is the greater concern, is that we don't have officials who care enough about our nation to fight for its preservation.
So are you saying that they're just basically bowing down to the people who are wanting to erase them from history?
Absolutely. And that is the greater problem. We saw that on the campuses of colleges and universities, and it is part of an effort to erase America's history, but also to reimagine and create a different nation. And it's not a nation that most of us would want to live in. And for those of us who love America, we do need to stand up and fight back. And we can do that by holding our officials accountable. We need to do that at the local level as well as at the national level. And we see that the Democratic Party, and I'm not trying to pick on Democrats, but they are the ones that show no love or respect for our nation. They are the ones that are encouraging the left to destroy our nation and everything we cherish.
Yeah, it's going to have to get to a point to where people are going to start having to speak up and stand up for what is right. I want to get to this. The largest teachers union says critical race theory is reasonable and appropriate for kids. I want to get to this this full screen from the NEA. They claim that it is reasonable and appropriate for curriculum to be informed by academic frameworks for understanding and interpreting the impact of the past on current society, including critical race theory. Your thoughts on this statement?
Okay, thank you. The problem is critical race theory was something that was birthed, at the university, in the legal department, philosophy departments, and the ideas are too complex for kids from K through 12. The other part of it is that they're using moments that have been cherry-picked from the civil rights movement and presenting that to children as young as those in the first grade. And if they wanted to teach civil rights, it should be taught at an age-appropriate level, but the whole story of civil rights, the whole story of America. And if you were doing that, you would have to look at the fact that even during slavery, there were white abolitionists, there were white people that donated money, philanthropists, to create black schools and colleges and universities, the historically black colleges. There were blacks and whites who worked together during the civil rights movement. And so if you actually presented the worst times of our history along with the response of how people came together and how they changed things, that would be beneficial. And so people like me, we want history taught, but we want it taught in a balanced way that shows that we live in a great nation where people do come together. They work across racial, ethnic, and partisan lines. That's not the message we're giving our children.
You're exactly right. A balanced, everything needs to be balanced. Of course, be sure to pick up a copy of Dr. Swain's book, Be the People, A Call to Reclaim America's Faith and Promise. Dr. Carol Swain, thank you again so much for your take on this and joining us this morning.
Thank you.